6:31. Do I need to repeat that, Donna? I just got another 6:31. Do I need to repeat that, Donna?
You're good. You're good.
Okay, got another 6. Okay, I'll go ahead then. I'd like to remind our community that the purpose of our board meeting is to conduct the business of the district first, and for everyone to learn about the district in a safe and productive manner. We hear from our community in a number of ways, and community input at our board meetings must be respectful and civil. This did not happen at the last meeting. So in order to complete our work and have safety of community, students, staff, and board members, we are now online. This is consistent with our policies. Remember, our children are watching and we are the example. Our ability to have this meeting civilly is what makes our community strong. So welcome. Let's get started with we'll begin with the land acknowledgement. Director Vice Chair Benaloga will lead the acknowledgement this evening.
We acknowledge the land on which we sit and which we call the North Clackamas School District rests on the traditional and indigenous lands and village sites of the native peoples of the Kalapuya, Chinook, Molalla, and the Clackamas. We take this opportunity to offer gratitude for the ability to learn, work, and be a community on this land, and we offer thanks to the original caretakers of this region. We recognize the historic policies of colonization, genocide, relocation, and assimilation that affected Indigenous and Native families, both past and present, and that will affect those in the future, and honor the resilience and revitalization of our Indigenous and Native communities. We pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, who have been the stewards of this land throughout the generations.
Thank you, Vice Chair Benaloga. This past week was Veterans Day, and I'd like to thank all of our veterans and their families too for their service and sacrifice, personal sacrifice. Board members, please turn off your cameras and I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Lord. Next are the minutes. They're in our board packet. You will find the minutes of the October 27th, 2022 meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? You can either—
Chair Bauer, I move that we approve the minutes from October 27th, 2022.
Thank
Schradel,
you,
second.
Ray. Thank you, Director Schradel. Discussion? I'll call for a vote. Director Ford?
Aye.
Director McVeigh is not here yet. Director Perez? You might be muted. Director Perez?
Aye.
Thank you. Director Schradel?
Aye.
Director Way?
Aye.
Vice Chair Benaloga?
Aye.
And myself is aye. So the motion passes with a vote 6-0. We also had another meeting November 3rd. The minutes are in the board packet. The North Clackamas, is there a motion to approve the minutes from the North Clackamas School Board Directors meeting, November 3rd?
Chair Bauer, Director Benaloga, I move we approve the minutes from November 3rd, 2022.
Thank you, Director Benaloga. Is there a second?
Second, Way.
Thank you, Director Way. Any discussion? We'll do another roll call vote. Director Ford?
Aye.
Director Perez?
Aye.
Director Schradel?
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
and myself is aye. So the minutes from the November 3rd, 2022 minute are approved with, passes with a vote of 6-0. Next, we have consent agenda, which includes quite a few items, employment changes, and the rest are all travel requests. Adrian C. Nelson High School Dance Team, Adrian C. Nelson High School Boys Basketball, travel request, Milwaukee High School Boys Basketball, and then Sabin Schellenberg Professional Technical Center Construction Group, and Adrian C. Nelson High School Girls Basketball.
Director
Is there a
Stradle,
motion?
Director Stradle, move approval of consent agenda items consisting of the items that Chair Bauer just referenced.
Okay, is there a second?
Director Benaloga, second.
Okay, there's been, let's see, a motion by Director Stradle, second by Director Benaloga. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Director Ford,
Aye.
Director Perez,
Aye.
Director Stradle,
Aye.
Director Way,
Aye.
Vice Chair Benaloga.
Aye.
And myself is aye. The motion passes with a vote 6-0. Thank you, board. Moving on then is our community comments. Community comments is an opportunity for our community to share their ideas and opinions to the board. Input is welcome and valued. It's our duty to keep it safe, respectful for everyone, student, staff, and our community. This is not a time for discussion or debate. If you have handouts or materials that you want to give to us, please send them and give them to our board's executive assistant, and she will distribute them to us. Letters to the board are always welcome, and each of us reads the input. Requests for information should be requested as outlined in policy KBA-AR. In order to assume that persons who wish to appear before the board, assured that persons who wish to appear before the board may be heard and at the same time conduct its meeting properly and efficiently, speakers will limit their comments to 2 minutes. Time will begin after you state your name and residence. Any individual desiring to speak will have indicated their desire prior to the board meeting. The speaker will be required to give their name, city of residence, the group, if any, that it represents. If there are more patrons desiring to present comments than time allotted, the board chair has authority to reduce the presentation time for individual speakers or institute a prioritization process with first priority to students, then attention to order of sign up and city of residence. Speakers may offer objective criticism of district operations and programs that are of a concern to them, but the board is restricted from hearing and will not consider complaints regarding any individual staff member or any person connected to the district. As an organization centered around youth and their positive development, all speakers will model respectful public comment, be mindful of civil discourse. The board vests in its chair other presiding officer authority to terminate the remarks of an individual when those remarks do not adhere to the rules established in this policy. Every student will be given 2 minutes, and we have 15 minutes in our agenda. If you're unable to speak, please write us an email to the board address to our administrative assistant, Donna Collingwood. We will keep the order of speakers announced by me. If you relinquish your time, then you forgo speaking and may submit a letter. After making your public comments, please exit the Zoom meeting. You may continue watching the board meeting on North Clackamas School District YouTube channel. We did receive some letters since the last meeting. And they consisted of a special education service question, accident on school property, attention to a hazard, inquiry regarding Senate Bill 732, Education Equity Advisory Committee, request of students to speak at our meeting, concerned parent regarding shift to online board meeting, request for link to view the board meeting, and a concerned parent's need for listening to constituents. So first on our list is Liddy Schmidt.
I don't see them in the waiting room.
You don't? Okay, I will come back to Liddy. Then next is Michael Corbus, Jennifer Corbus, and Kylie Corbus.
I have
Are they?
Jennifer here. I'll admit her. I do not know if they are all together or not.
So do we have Michael and Jennifer and Kylie Corbus? You're muted. And you unmute.
Yes.
Okay, I see again, you have all signed up, but you are speaking on behalf of your daughter. How do you want to divide that 6 minutes?
I'm sorry, Chair. We have something being shared. I don't know what that visual is, so I can't see the speaker.
Okay,
I'm right here.
Thank you. It's gone now. Thank you.
okay,
Director Ford, that's how we're sharing the clock with the participants so they can actually see what the timer is.
Okay,
Oh.
thank
We
you.
don't think that will work. I do have the clock that I can hold up on my screen, but that's what we had set up so that everybody can see what the timer is, especially the community speakers. Otherwise, everybody's window is very small.
Okay.
I'll do my own timer so we can kind of watch from here too.
So, but just to confirm, so we don't have any interruptions. We have 6 minutes, 2
Correct.
minutes for each of us. We're going to do it on this one Zoom link
okay.
rather than 3 Zoom links. Okay.
And so will you divide it 3 minutes for you and 3 minutes for your wife?
No,
Or-
I'm just speaking tonight. She's giving
I'm
me her.
ceding my minutes to him and Kylie, he's speaking for Kylie as well.
I can
Okay.
use the clock and make it 6
Okay.
minutes if that's easier.
Yeah,
Okay, you want to go ahead, Michael?
Well, can I ask this? Who are the board members? Because I recognize some people and I'm not sure who's support staff and who are the actual board members. I know you are.
I can name those for you, Director Benaloga, Director Way, Director Schradel, Director Perez. Who am I forgetting? Director, did I say them all?
And Director Ford.
Director
And
Ford.
Director Ford, yes. The rest are staff.
Okay, and where is Tori, I think is his name?
He
And
might
Steve-
join us later, but go ahead. Let's get started with community input. You want to state your
Right.
name, residence?
Okay, Michael Corbus, and I'm from Milwaukee, Oregon. And my children go to Rex Putnam High School. All right. All right, I'm a father who spoke out at the last 2 school board meetings about the hateful bigotry and threats made towards my son and my daughter, who is significantly disabled and cannot speak for herself. It is horrifying that there has been no public response or action from you, the school board. The only action you took was to shut down in-person meetings to protect you from us, the parents, which is crazy, but did nothing after messages like this were spewed by students in this district towards my son and daughter. I'm going to remind you of some of the messages here. Go ahead and put that up. Homophobic cracker ass bitch. This is what they said to my son and my daughter. Sister need a tard guard. This is Kylie right here. She's special needs. Head ass. I hope 19 men pass your ass around in a massive orgy, you dumb fucking skag. Your Pope literally rapes little boys, head ass. All right. It is your job to create safe, equitable learning environments for our kids. Or is it everyone except Christians and disabled kids? That's my question for you. Since we spoke at the last 2 meetings, we have received more hateful responses from LGBTQ activists, bully students, and a teacher over at Sabin Schellenberg even got involved, but I will save her comments for next time. But let me first say these activist bullies have been so indoctrinated by this oppressor-oppressed ideology that you are pushing at schools that they are incapable of seeing themselves as the oppressor, which they clearly are. Also, let me be clear again, as some have slandered me as a bigot for simply defending my daughter, who experiences disability, and my son for hateful threats. If defending my nonverbal daughter from LGBTQ bigoted activist bullies is wrong, then I don't want to be right. My issue is not with the LGBTQ community as a whole, but with the much smaller activist bullies in the LGBTQ and the indoctrination that is being taught at our schools that teaches them this is okay. So let me show you the highlights from one message from a student that really typifies the many messages we got after speaking out. Okay, I told you these kids are prolific. They're prolific with the hate because you've basically told them they can get away with it. Here's what he,
Point of order. Are we going to receive testimony from minor children in a public setting? Are you going to be quoting their names?
come on.
Are names going to be quoted in public comment with statements visually?
Policy does state there's no using names of anyone connected to the district.
We haven't listed any names.
We haven't said any. I mean, last time I told you I was going to do it. I don't know what he's saying. He says he wants to hear names.
No. No.
And this interruption,
Continue. Go.
it does not benefit you guys. It doesn't. I'm telling you, you should stop doing it. He says, this is what the kid says in his reply. Show him the message. All right. I'm going to paraphrase for you because it's quite long. He says that
Point of order. They're
that's-
showing a student's name or user handle on the graphic.
yeah. Well, you can last week you didn't.
Chair Ford,
Yes.
Director Schradel, this is
Yes.
violating of the terms that are supposed to be done. Showing students' contact information is inappropriate.
Yeah, you can't do that, Michael.
Okay, we'll then block it.
Okay,
out.
I won't.
We'll block it out.
I won't put it back up.
Okay, but this guy goes to school with my kids. All right. And he says all the messages that he sent or that were spewed at them, which I showed in the previous weeks, were jokes. Okay. He said they're jokes. Does this sound like a joke? I'm going to read one of them. Does he know that Jesus is dead? That's a direct attack on our Christianity. How about this one? Your mom should have aborted you. Does that sound like a joke? Or this one? It's a sin to look like you. Does that sound like a joke? Also, that same bigoted bully student goes on to say that we are just using my daughter by defending her against these LGBTQ bigoted bullies. Using her. We're defending my daughter who is nonverbal, cognitively delayed, physically disabled, and who had violent threats made at her. They say I am using her. That is offensive. And you all should know it. This is willful blindness to awful behavior. But that is what happens when you indoctrinate kids and their families with this oppressor-oppressed ideology. Exposure of this hate is all that will correct this problem. And I'm asking you to do two things. All right? Number one, send a letter out to all district students and parents with very specific details about the hate these LGBTQ student activists have spewed at Christian students, and one which is disabled, because they don't believe the way they want them to. It needs to strongly say this is not okay and will not be tolerated. Number two, also, I want all LGBTQ banners or any other political banners in classrooms or anywhere in the school that are hung by staff, teachers, or administrators to come down, as they are part of what informs these student activist bigoted bullies that they are part of an oppressed group and can attack anyone they deem to be outside of that group anytime. Either that, or in the name of equity, you put up my list of banners up alongside the current banners, one of which is the American Universal Access flag and the pro-life flag. All right, equity, or take them down, you decide. If you can't do these two things, then I and a growing number of allies plan to expose and shout from the rooftops the truth about the LGBTQ activist bigoted bullies in the staff and student body in this district and their hatred of Christians until you are forced to make a change. They pushed us over the edge when they came after our special needs daughter. It's disgusting. And we have no fear and will not shut up.
Okay, thank you. And I do want to add that the district staff is doing an investigation and looking into this. Our next
Well,
speaker
it needs to- let me
is
say this, since you
Zora
responded-
Morgan. I'm sorry, we have to go on to the next speaker. It's not for debating.
And I should be able to reply. I should be able to.
Our next speaker is
I
Zoya
should be able to-
Morgan. Is Zoya here?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome, Zoya. You want to state your name and your residence?
And what?
Your name and your city of residence.
Oh, my name is Zoya Morgan. I'm a resident of Milwaukee.
Okay, and then you can go ahead. You'll have 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Zoya Morgan, and I'm a student at Milwaukee High School. I recently saw the video of the last board meeting, which was live streamed to YouTube. People were saying that the parents that testified before the board that day were lying. That, had they spoken to students, they would find that there is no political ideology in our schools. Well, I'm a student, and I'm here to tell you that our lessons are not entirely without political motivations. Teachers frequently bring up trans issues in class in a way that is one-sided, leaving no room for civil discussion. It is my position that educators should not declare their personal political beliefs. It is their job to teach us in an unbiased environment. Kids like me feel pressured into political correctness, and we can't speak our minds for fear of being ostracized by our peers. People preach about honoring diversity, but we also need diversity and acceptance when it comes to our beliefs. I would like to lend my voice to all parents who are raising concerns about the current political climate in our schools, and they have reason to be concerned. Students at our schools, whether you know it or not, are living as transgender kids at school, and teachers are going out of their way to keep it secret from parents. At my school, a kid can walk into any changing room that he or she chooses, which could lead to some students feeling uncomfortable. I deeply respect the LGBT community, but I do question the amount of time that is devoted to this topic in a one-sided manner and in secrecy from parents. I know that I may lose popularity as a result of this speech, but I'm done standing by and not speaking the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Zora. Next is Angela Peterson.
She should be joining now.
Yes. Is Angela on?
She's connecting right now. Looks like her audio is coming on.
Angela, are you there? I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Yes, hi, this is Angela Peterson. I'm from Oregon City. I first want to just address the fact that you guys closed down our school board meetings, falsely claiming it's for reasons of safety. Nobody in our group, yes, I am. Am I on?
Yes, go ahead.
So we are very disappointed again that the school board is using this to try to silence us, but that's okay because we want to thank you. The silver lining is that you alerted the entire North Clackamas School District community and all staff members that there's issues going on in our school district at our school board meetings, and we thank you for that. So I'm going to just read one book that's in our high school right now. It's at Rex Putnam High School. It is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. And I apologize if there's any children in the room, they probably should leave. Yeah, Earl, I'm gonna eat her pussy. Do you even know how to eat pussy? Papa Gaines never sat you down, son. One day you're gonna have to eat pussy. No, he didn't teach us that, but he did teach us how to eat butthole. I would teach you some pussy eating technique, but it's a little complicated. I would need some diagrams and whatnot, son. I don't have time for that. I've got like 20 pussies over here that I need to eat. I'm on a pussy deadline. You've got 20 vaginas all lined up in a row. No one's talking about vaginas. Okay, how does anybody on this school board or in this district not find that so deplorable and so disgusting? I am near tears and infuriated. Please do not shut down our school board meetings because we are passionate and you have never shown us any respect. You have done nothing to show any concern for these very valid concerns that we have about this filth that you are subjugating our minors to. This is pornography. This is filth. This is not sex positive like an Oregonian story said it was. There's nothing positive about this whatsoever. I challenge anyone to try to explain to me how this can be in our high school library. Somebody I wish would answer us. We've been talking with the school board for over 7.
Angela, just finish your sentence.
Mitzi Bauer, I request
No,
bring
you
the
aren't supposed to be naming person, please.
school board, please.
Okay, next is Amanda Allen.
Should be joining now.
I think she's still connecting.
Amanda, if you
Amanda,
could
I think you're
unmute.
muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank
State your name and your city of residence,
Yes, Amanda Allen, Clackamas.
and then go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
As the North Clackamas School Board, you have the authority to approve or disapprove curriculum in our district. You have approved and condoned the current health curriculum and reading material that is in our schools. By doing so, you have openly promoted the sexualization of our children. No matter one's sexuality, race, religion, political affiliation, gender, or income level, we should agree that our children are in our keeping to protect and provide for. It is our utmost duty to let them have and treasure their childhoods. Children mostly love without any bias. To corrupt these pure, innocent hearts is the purest form of evil. It is unfortunate that you have not seen that. You condone pornography in our libraries. You have robbed our children of their innocence. You have allowed our youngest and most vulnerable to be abused and confused. Many of our children will grow up to be victims, abusers, porn addicts, sex addicts, or worse, all because of the exposure and teaching that you have condoned and even advocated for during their formative years. Are you truly okay with the fact that our children are being sexualized at school every single day? These kids will grow up and look back on their education and wonder why school was not a safe place for them. They will wonder why they lost their innocence at such a young age. You can stop this. You can change this policy and mitigate the damage from spreading further. Take control of your term. Stand firm in the fact that ideology has no place in our schools. Be a hero. It isn't too late. You can change this, but will you? Or will you rest and go on pretending that your advocacy of this health curriculum is less to blame than sex abuse itself? Stop pandering to popularity and do the right thing based on character and honor.
Thank you, Amanda. Let's go back and see if Liddy Schmidt has entered.
No one else is in the waiting room.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our agenda items then. Maybe we should just take a 5-minute recess, okay? Let's just take a 5-minute recess and we'll be right back.
Sorry about that, Gina. Don't know how you got knocked out.
Unfortunately, I'm just on my phone, just so everybody knows. I still cannot get in with my laptop, but I am on my phone.
Got it.
Thank you, Gina. Well, I'll check. Our next agenda item is North Clackamas Education Association NCA featured educator. Are they in the room here?
Chair.
Oh, I
this is
see
Director Schrader.
Michelle. Pardon, Director Schrader?
Chair Bauer, could you do a roll call to make sure we have the board
Okay,
members?
good
We have a
idea.
quorum.
Okay, is Director Way here?
Here.
Director Benaloga?
Here.
Director Ford?
Here.
Director Schradel?
Here, thank you.
Director Perez?
Here.
And Director McVeigh may join us later. Is he here yet? Okay, so we have everyone that we expect. Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda, North Clackamas Education Association featured educator. I welcome the NCA representative, Michelle Arco. Thank you for being here, Michelle.
Thank you, board. It is with great pleasure that I present the featured educators tonight, our physical therapy team, Craig Anderson and Nicole Nix. Neither are able to be present with us tonight, but they each prepared a statement that I will read to you, and I'm sure that they will catch this later on YouTube, so thank you for having it streaming for them. This is what Craig had to say. Thank you for the recognition and the opportunity to spotlight the school-based physical therapy team in the North Clackamas School District. It is a challenging and unique team role that we have, helping support the gross motor needs of over 70 students and collaborating with school staff across all the schools in the district. Over the past 10 years, I've been lucky to work together with Nicole Nix and played a role in the joy of many student triumphs, collaborate and learn from district staff, and work closely with our school-based occupational therapy team. As a team, we help students participate with their peers in their classroom, enjoy a swing at recess for the first time, climb stairs, ramps, curbs, bus steps alongside their peers, traverse mud paths with classmates on pumpkin patch field trips, and experience the beach for the first time at outdoor school. School-based physical and occupational therapy services are different from medical-based services and are not intended to replace clinical outpatient therapy services. As education-based therapists, we often help modify functional motor tasks. We use personal adaptive equipment, we adapt the school and playground environment, and we address motor performance to promote access and participation for students to benefit from their special education. For example, we help students with safe wheelchair mobility on campus and playgrounds. We help provide supportive seating and desks in classrooms. We modify functional tasks for students so that they can better access their academics, and we help identify barriers to independent motor performance. We offer input for school buildings and playground remodels, and we promote inclusive participation in motor-based academics. We are all advocates for the individual needs of students with disabilities and the need for talented adults to support competently and to support students able to competently and safely access their education. This is best exemplified by the exhaustive efforts of our structured learning classroom teachers, our resource room teachers, our general education teachers, case managers, and our paraeducators whom we work with very closely. Without their commitment, knowledge, patience, and collaboration, we would have a very big challenge as our role is dependent on these relationships. Shifting the spotlight to retaining and supporting our veteran teachers, training new teachers and paraeducators is critical for the success of our students. And then Nicole says, as the physical therapy assistant in this district, my role is to support our students in safe access to their school environment. I get the privilege of working with amazing students who can do great things when given the opportunity and appropriate devices to help support their mobility. I feel very honored to be working alongside with Craig. Our role is very unique and he continues to push us to keep up with the advances in physical therapy. He's always ready to problem solve access issues that our students have. We get to share in our students' joys when they get on a trike for the first time, when they can play basketball for the first time using a device that helps them stand, when they learn how to utilize their mobility to successfully transfer in and out of a wheelchair so that they can sit with their peers at a desk. As I travel across the district and work with different teams, I get the opportunity to witness such amazing things in our classrooms. We have some of the most motivated, encouraging teachers, paraeducators, and school staff, and they work extremely hard to ensure all students receive what they need to learn. I wish each teacher and support staff could be seen for all that they do. There are some hard situations in our district, and staff is doing everything they can to keep each student safe and able to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, that's truly a great program. They are truly miracle workers with our kids. And so please tell them congratulations. Board, is there anyone else that would like to speak up or comment? I don't see a hand, but okay. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. And it's just fantastic, great work.
Thank you. I will let them know.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the Oak Grove Elementary School presentation. I welcome Executive Director of Elementary Programs, Dr. Kalia Williams Rodriguez, for the agenda item, and I'll ask you to introduce any other guests that you are bringing for the presentation. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, and happy Thursday. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to welcome Principal Heidi Dodge and her fabulous team from Oak Grove. We're excited to hear what our community has to share with you.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting us tonight. I'm going to share my screen for our presentation. All right.
I am Rachel Wong. I teach first grade at Oak Grove Elementary.
And I'm Beth Bearcat. I'm the instructional coach at Oak Grove.
And I'm Heidi Dodge, the principal.
And I'm Sarah Westerson, the assistant principal.
And we first want to just say many thanks to our community for supporting bond measures, which have allowed for safety improvements, including a more secure entrance for our school building this year. And the four of us really appreciate the opportunity to present to you tonight and share a little bit more about our school, but we would be remiss if we did not also include the Oak Grove family, who are all integral in creating a school that feels like a great place to learn and work. And our mission is to exist as a school to serve all of its students, families, and the greater community. Oak Grove will cultivate a nurturing environment where all students feel they belong and their identities valued. Oak Grove will be a school where students are challenged to excel and reach their highest level of academic achievement while becoming competent and autonomous.
And on behalf of our students and our families who speak 11 unique languages, we warmly welcome you to learn more about our school this evening.
As we were preparing for this presentation to share with you about Oak Grove, we asked our students and staff what they thought made Oak Grove unique. And a common theme through all of their responses was the fact that we cultivate autonomy, belonging, and competence in our students and staff. So we'll share a little bit more about that. One of the greatest strengths of our school is the retention of exceptional staff. This builds competence in our students and staff, but also provides a continuity of care for our students and families. For example, our classified staff, among them, 50% of them have been at Oak Grove, not just in North Clackamas, but at our school for 5 years, and 3 of them have been there for 10 years or more.
And this continues with our certified staff. Nearly 3/4 of our certified staff have been at Oak Grove for at least 5 years. And 5 of those folks have been here for over 10 years.
Another thing that we do at Oak Grove around community is building belonging. We are very, very intentional about how we build community here at Oak Grove. We know how important it is to foster a sense of belonging for each student and for every family that we work with. Everyone needs and wants to feel like they belong and have an important part in our Oak Grove family. We work really hard to build community within our individual classrooms, within school-wide, with the families we work with, and with our greater Oak Grove and Milwaukee community. The list of some of the activities we do here, I'm just going to mention a few. One of the biggest ones that we do to build community with our students is looping. And this is where a teacher will follow their class and their group of kids to for a second year to the next grade level. This gives students 2 years with the same teacher and classmates. This gives the relationships that we develop through looping are able to help us go deeper and help us drive our instruction further. Another thing that we do at our school is electives. We do that 3 times a year, and that's a school-wide project. During that time, it's K-5, and students get to go to an activity such as cooking, sewing, readers theater, or Spanish. And during that time, our focus is for students to build new relationships with peers across different grade levels and build relationships with new teachers. These electives are taught not only by our certified staff, but also by our classified staff. We can see how successful our electives are all through the year as we see students saying hi to the new friends that they've made, and waving to the teachers that they worked with. They're very, very excited to have made those new connections and to continue building those relationships with new people. One of the ways that we build community with our families is through our STEAM night, our science, technology, engineering, arts, and math night. This is a great opportunity for families to engage in the learning we're doing here at Oak Grove. Students and families can participate in science experiments, paint beautiful pictures, create a calming jar to take home to use at home, or they can grab books to enjoy with their families. We had a really good turnout last year, and I'm sure we will do the same this year. Another thing that we do to try to build greater community with the people outside of just our school is 2 things or 3 things, but one of them on there is the pen pals that we do with Willamette View Retirement Center. We have a great authentic task for our students to participate in writing back and forth with the residents at Rose Villa. There's a picture on there on our covered area from last year at the end when we were celebrating the success of our pen pal program for the year, and they got to meet their friends. We also work with Rose Villa Retirement Center, and we've been doing this program for about 10 years now, where our students get to go over and venture over to Rose Villa, the short walk, read to the residents there, sing songs with them and for them, and recite poetry. And we can see the benefits of that as well, because many of those community members come back and also participate in our Smart Reading program, which stands for Start Making a Reader Today. So all of these programs and activities help to add to our community and sense of belonging here at Oak Grove Elementary.
Also at Oak Grove, we are committed to the social emotional learning of our students. We're grounded in a very strong foundation of supporting their development of self-management, self-awareness, responsible decision-making, relationship building, and autonomy. Since 2017, we've used the Caring School Community Curriculum, which really focuses on building a strong and connected community in each classroom and school-wide. We have consistency of practice in kindergarten through 5th grade classrooms through daily morning circles, ending with a closing circle every day, having class meetings each week, cross-age buddies, and really intentional home and school connections. All of which really contribute to a very positive school climate here, which you really can see and feel as you walk through our classrooms and in our hallways. And we're really proud of that. It's a place where our students and our staff really want to be, and we attribute that to our dedication and our work around Caring School Community. We've been a restorative practices school for 6 years. This is also anchored in the building and maintaining of relationships. These responsive and proactive practices emphasize the values of empathy and respect, acceptance, and accountability. They cultivate intrinsic motivation in our students and empower them to repair relationships when they've caused harm, and also to speak up and be heard, really elevating the voices and experiences of those when they've been harmed. Every adult in our building, teachers, support staff, paraprofessionals, our office staff, all use restorative practices. Many of our staff have had training from the International Institute for Restorative Practices, and it's part of our ongoing professional development. This allows us to provide the consistency that we know our students need to be successful. They know what to expect from us. They know how we problem solve here. We have a common vocabulary that they're very comfortable with, and they know that they're going to have adult support when they need it, anytime they need it. Restorative practices really provides us the framework to support, to best support our students. And we're always looking for opportunities to support the well-being of our students. So we're excited about something new this year, and that is our partnership with PlayWorks. They are an organization that comes in and helps schools really enhance the recess experience for students through play. So inclusive, cooperative games really promote physical activity and friendship and problem-solving skills and just joy at recess time at school. So the rotating games are taught to all of our classes during their PE time. So every student has the opportunity to learn all of the games and play them so that those then become another common community builder in our school. And that's just one more way that we cultivate such great connectedness at Oak Grove. So these are some of the ways that we foster autonomy in our school and also prioritize the social emotional learning and well-being of our students.
So to truly understand how special a place Oak Grove is, you have to hear from the folks who make it that way. We've created a short video highlighting the voices of our students and staff so that they can share with you what makes Oak Grove such a happy place. We hope that you enjoy.
Because they want the happy kid there. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, tell the world to find you.
I think that what makes Oak Grove a happy place is that tons of friends and people knowing each other and having good community.
We are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me, like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it.
The reason why I like collectives is because you can help people learn new stuff, and I'm in Spanish, so I can help people learn Spanish.
That's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
I have worked at Oak Grove Elementary for the past 7 years as a paraprofessional. One of the most amazing things I think about this school is the staff. The level of commitment that our staff has is amazing. We care about each other, we trust each other, we learn from each other, and these values, we hope, well, I think we know, are passed on to our kids. They're passed on to the wider community of Oak Grove, and for that, I'm very proud.
You can count on me. 1, 2, 3, I'll be there.
So student voice is really important to us, as evidenced in that video. Another way that we listen to students is through something I call listening lunches, where I invite students to join me for lunch. And I cycle through every single student in our school, starting with our 3rd through 5th grade students. So for example, our first round was asking students what makes Oak Grove a happy place, what takes courage at school, and what do you want your principal to know? We want our students to know that their feedback and input and ideas are important. And most importantly, we need to give them a space to be heard.
Student voices are also definitely heard on our Green Team. Green Team members come together during weekly meetings and they learn about the importance of taking good care of our environment. But they also bring with them their really good ideas for helping our school be more eco-friendly. Part of their responsibility is to then take what they learn back to their own classrooms and also make sure that their classmates know how we're going to implement those plans. Last year, our Green Team worked with Clackamas County to really make an impact on our food waste here. And we set up a compost system for all food waste in our cafeteria. This year, they're looking forward to continuing our work in our school garden and setting up some warm bins. And we're just excited to see what they come up with next. And we just really love that we get to support them in carrying out their ideas from start to finish. And just they take such ownership of a Green Team, and it's amazing to be a part of.
So another way that we really work to elevate student voice at Oak Grove is through the Junior Coach Program, which is a component of our partnership with Playworks, which we mentioned a little earlier. The Junior Coach Program is a youth leadership program for our 4th and 5th graders to support recess, and it helps them to make a positive impact at their school. So these students spend the school year learning how to be leaders, both on and off of the playground, by helping to facilitate recess for their peers and younger students. It's really an opportunity for self-esteem building, responsibility teaching, and leadership training. All of our junior coaches have training with the Playworks staff at the start of the year, as well as continual check-ins and support throughout the school year.
And another way that we elevate student voice is through our cross grade level buddies. And that's where our kindergarten students get to work with our 3rd grade level students. Our 1st grade works with 4th, and our 2nd grade work with our 5th graders. And this is a great opportunity for our older students to step up as leaders and to teach our younger students things that they're interested in as well. We've already had a few buddy activities this year, and I know my kids really enjoyed building that relationship with the students and seeing what the older students already were interested in and wanted to teach them. After my students were doing the community builder of what things you have in common, one of the 4th graders is like, I'd really like to teach you how to draw a truck. Can I teach you how to draw a truck? And so they sat there together just for about 3 minutes before we had to switch back. And he was showing him how to teach a truck. And just to see that child light up as they got to teach something that they were really good at was really exciting.
And we wanted to take this opportunity also to thank all of our community volunteers who partner with us to ensure that our students here at Oak Grove are supported in every way. Volunteers from the Milwaukee Lions help us to stock, organize, and prepare food to distribute through our Backpack Buddies program each week. Our volunteers also provide support during our lunch times and on student field trips.
And we also wanted to share with you parts of our continuous improvement plan for this year, starting with reading. By the end of the year, our goal is for each of our students in grades kindergarten through 3rd grade to demonstrate growth in reading as measured by STAR and/or BAS assessments.
For math, we're really looking at all of our students K through 5. By the end of the school year, we'll be able to demonstrate growth on the math assessments measured in stars and as well as formative assessments. And on our next slide, we'll also be telling you how we're elevating our math instruction to achieve those goals.
And we also want to prioritize autonomy and belonging in our students. We want every single one of them to be able to recognize their emotions and express them appropriately. And that will be measured by teachers gathering that data.
One of the ways that we hope to reach our goal is by providing a dedicated paraeducator to deliver reading support to our K-2 students. This looks like small group reading, working alongside classroom teachers, and other targeted supports in the area of early literacy.
And lesson study is a framework for collaborative lesson planning with teams that really examines deeply our instructional practice, always with the goal of improving and getting better. We work in cycles to study and plan, and then teach and observe, and finally just really dig in and revise and fine tune those lessons, making instructional shifts that really make a positive impact on our students' learning. It's very student-centered and responsive. And while we're doing this work around math right now this year, it really, really is transferable across all content areas. So we're really optimistic about how this can help us reach our goals.
And another really crucial step towards meeting our end of year goals is to support students with lagging skills. For example, and we do this through a multi-tiered system of supports. So this might look like a reading intervention group taught by a teacher or paraeducator, or it could be a social skills group taught by our school counselor. But we know that the lived experience of our students varies, and especially over the last 2 years, that some of them need more support to meet end of year goals. We are also very committed to affirming the identities of our students and staffs through continuous and intentional work around equity and inclusion. We know that when students feel safe, when they feel heard, and when they really feel like a part of our school community, that they are more likely to meet their end of year goals. So we really strive to empower our students to act with courage and make contributions to their community.
And one of our other big strengths that we have is our staff and their commitment to the Oak Grove community and the work that we're doing with caring school communities and restorative practices. Each teacher starts their day with a morning circle and ends their day with a closing circle. We also have consistent weekly check-ins and meetings with our students. Each staff member works to build positive relationships with the students and to help build positive relationships between the students, whether it's during recess, during a reading group, and even during music. They have consistent support from all of the staff. We are all on the same page about the importance of teaching our students how to be highly literate critical thinkers who learn from, care for, and respect one another. With Caring Schools community, with restorative practices and our dedicated staff, we ensure the continuity of care for our students.
And finally, we really couldn't do what we do at Oak Grove without the support of our community. As mentioned before, our Backpack Buddy program, we also partner with Putnam High School for their students will come and deliver the food bags to our students. We also have a planned partnership with Active Children's Portland in order to provide after-school enrichment opportunities for our students that otherwise wouldn't have them. And then we also partner with Clackamas Service Center, who provides grocery distribution every Wednesday to our families, and also provides classroom snacks, which our teachers really appreciate. We are also home to a before and after care program. We have 2 Head Start classrooms, and we will have the first Oak Grove preschool, which will be coming soon. And really, our why is the 280 students that come to school every day who count on us to learn and grow and develop. And that's why we do what we do. So thank you very much for learning about Oak Grove.
Thank you.
Thank you all for a great presentation, and I really enjoyed meeting you all. I'll open it up to our board members if they have any questions, comments, and either raise your visual hand or I'll try to see it. If I don't, just go ahead and speak up.
Chair Bauer, I'll go first. I don't have any specific questions, but I just want to say thank you all for the great presentation. I enjoyed very much watching the video and just all of the slides that were just put together with so much care and preparation. So thank you to each and every one of you for not only presenting to us, but being educators in our district. And, you know, I in my later board report will just emphasize how much of an importance it is for us to have teachers who are, you know, passionate, considerate, caring, knowledgeable, professional. And I feel like y'all really hit it out of the park today with just modeling that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Director Way. Any others?
Yeah,
Director
Chair,
Perez, go ahead.
yeah, I'll echo Director Way's comments. Thank you for the awesome presentation. And I remember a few years ago, I had stopped by Oak Grove, and I remember Christy Dilly, who's an amazing, has lots of energy, and I remember chatting with her. You're lucky to have her. But I thought, oh, but then I looked around and I saw all the staff, and it felt like everyone was connected. And I think someone used the word positive climate there. And I got a sense of that, just seeing the staff interact and the kids over there. And I got so what you said today about belonging and about making sure that kids have space and have a voice and feel safe and feel heard and feel valued. I experienced that when I was there. The time that I was there, it felt like it was a very connected school community. And like you said, when you have children who feel safe, valued, and heard, and have a community where they feel like they belong, they're more likely to meet their end of year goals. Because at the end of the day, we want all our children to meet the end of the year goals, but to get there, they need to feel loved and like they belong and respected. And so thank you for setting that example. And why the 280 students, you got it. Keep doing the good work. Thank you.
Any other input, comments? Thank you so much. I did want to mention that your packet that you gave us lots of information. I agree with what both Director Way and Director Perez said, but you have lots of data in there. You have a plan. I was very impressed with your continuous improvement plan, and I look forward to seeing the results of that. So thank you for all of your hard work. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Next then is our board reports. Customarily, board members report on their activity within the school district each month. This time is set aside for each board member to share a report. I just want to remind you, we do have a full board meeting agenda tonight with 15 minutes allowed. So I will just call on people here. Director Perez, do you want to go first?
I knew you were going to call me first, Chair. I would say, let's see, board reports. I was able to attend the wellness fair, and I was able to work a table for the wellness committee on behalf of the wellness committee, the amazing Megan, and yeah, it was great to chat with. I met a lot of folks from our district, and it was great to chat with folks and to let them know about the wellness, the benefits that are available to staff in the district. And I also got to work alongside Director Benaloga for a few minutes, and as we passed the baton. And but yeah, it was a very electric atmosphere. It was good to see a lot of smiles and people chatting, and so it was good. It felt like a village. So I really enjoyed that and got to meet a lot of our district staff. So yeah, and that's all.
Thank you, Director Perez. Director Way.
Thank you. I will try to keep mine succinct because I know we have a pretty full agenda. So first, I attended the Oregon School Boards Association's legislative roadshow that was held specifically in the Clackamas region. That was held at the Clackamas ESD, and it was just great kind of connecting with about 10 other school districts and some of their superintendents that were there. I know Chair Bauer and Director Benaloga and some of our staff were there. And, just some of the top highlights that came out of just issues that we just need to continue to focus on, addressing our workforce shortages, teacher retention and recruitment, continuing to advocate for stable funding for education, school board training and education. This is just ongoing education for new and old school board members, And there we also had a student representative from Lake Oswego who was also there to talk about some of the ways that their school board is infusing student voice. I also attended our budget interviews and our ad hoc committee on policy review. And then I know several of us also attended the OSBA conference. Gosh, is it last weekend? Yes, last weekend for 4 days. And just some quick highlights there. I just wanted to share very quickly, just again, some of the main things I was hearing from our regional roundtable, which is for Clackamas. And so we heard from attendees from other Clackamas County school districts. One of the main things is that sometime maybe early in the year, we want to host a legislative reception to either in person or virtually school board members connecting with their local electeds. This would be relationship building. Again, talking about what are the highlights, what are the issues and challenges that we see on our local school boards, and really trying to, advocate at the state level. There was also a lot of discussion around just student voice again and student participation. I thought it was interesting to point out that many of the school districts in our area include student reports at board meetings, like official, here's a report from a student on just things that are happening in their schools. Some districts also have student representatives. This was either by application or election as student body officers who are able to be at board meetings, but not vote. But, some folks really felt like it was important for students to say the last word when it comes to our board meetings. So I thought that was a great idea. Board training, there's also a rural caucus that is in the works of being formed through the Oregon School Boards Association. There are rural areas of Clackamas County, and so I just wanted to bring that to folks' attention that there might be some efforts underway with other school boards to make sure that resources are equitable to our rural school districts as well. And then last but not least, I attended a really great workshop around meeting the social emotional needs of our students and just how they were dealing with COVID-19 and other issues. And the exciting part there that I just want to note is that there is funding by Oregon Health Authority through federal grants. And that is, I believe, going to be open to school districts if we're interested in applying. So I can share more information there to staff, but that was sort of an interesting note, because if there's hopefully more resources coming, then we can continue to support some of our student engagement efforts that we already have underway to see how we can really hear student voice when it comes to mental health issues, social emotional issues, and how we can support them better. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Director Way. You are involved in, I think, 2 committees through the OSBA. So she gets lots of information and I appreciate you sharing. Director Schradel.
Thank you. We'll talk about, I guess, policy and why I work on policies. People come and talk before the board, and people reference policies that we have. Sometimes I don't think people understand that policies that we have for the district, be it over 200 of them, are all rooted, most of them are all rooted in ORS, so OARs, or federal laws that we must follow. Why is it important we have scripts that we read before the public speaks? I would only hope that people could hear not me trying to say my voice is trying to interrupt people from talking, but only maybe accept that the money we receive to educate your children is precious and must be protected to provide services for your children. If people come before this board and create legal situations that we then end up in lawsuits, and that precious money goes to cure the actions that take place that don't follow the policies that we have that are rooted in law, then the money is not available for it to be in the classroom. We are here to safeguard and protect and follow the laws. During some times, we don't get to communicate some of this information that I'm doing right now, but we're not here to stifle or prevent truth from coming forward. But we have policies that make it so that if people come to the board and say, I have a problem about erasers in the classroom, and I'm choosing a simple example, and you come to the board and you complain to the board, it didn't go through any process that we have. It's supposed to be start with the lowest level. If you don't get resolution at that level, you take it to the next level. If there truly is issues, we will address it. Now, I get to continue to talk because it's my time. The right of every student. I welcome people coming and talking and educating me so I can hear people's point of view. But when people come and say, my right is more important than somebody else's right, how do you know your right is more important than my right or the next person's right? If somebody comes in more adamant than you the next board meeting and says, that other person got additional things, I get more additional things too. We service all students in all situations. Some students actually have situations that are not as convenient as a family that actually has their student who comes home every night. Some students don't actually have homes. We have many needs in this district to service. Some you may not agree with. You have a right to be unhappy. That's your right. I'll protect that you have the right to be unhappy with the choices I make, and you can yell at me about it. But if you want to come before this board and take away somebody else's right, that seems like a challenge that you might want to talk with yourself, because if you want to have rights and you want to take away somebody else's rights, why shouldn't we listen to the people that you want to take their voice away? Because they may want to take your voice away. We're here to listen to everybody, even if we don't disagree. Sorry, I apologize for that. Even if we don't agree, but we're all encompassing. We support all students in all situations, and it's important. Your family is important. Your students important to me. This entire board wants to do the best for everyone in a difficult situation of addressing the impossible of doing everything at the same time. I wish I could say that better, but I'm here to do good. And I believe that everybody I work with does as well. Sometimes our process takes longer than you wish. And for that, I'm sorry, but it tends to follow best practice. So, thank you for the time, Chair. I've returned the time.
Thank you, Director Schradel. Director Ford.
Thank you for that, Chair Ford, and thank you for that, Director Schradel. I have been recovering from my hip replacement since I've heard that so many people have been asking about me in public comment, and I appreciate your sentiments and your concerns. So I will pass my time off as I'm still recovering from my hip replacement. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Ford. Vice Chair Benaloga.
Yes, thank you, Chair Bauer. And again, I apologize. Donna and Seth are trying to work to get me into the Zoom, but I still am not able to log in from my computer. So I do apologize for having my video off. I have very unstable connection if I turn it on. So it has been a busy time, and so many things have already been brought up. The benefit fair, I always enjoy seeing our staff and meeting some of the new folks that are in the district. Been attending my my regular commitments, the Youth Equity Committee, where we were meeting online, the ROW Collaborative meeting, the Benefit and the Wellness Committee. I always appreciate just hearing what's happening in the district and being able to be a voice there. And yes, the OSBA listening session, and of course the OSBA convention that was just this last weekend. And I will say that I too was really moved by the things that we were hearing and collaborating and just learning and talking with board members from other districts and superintendents from other districts, and really talking about leading with love and educating with love. And I just found that message to be so positive. I attended several different sessions, things about just literacy and the science of reading, which I think there's some great programs out there, some sessions on youth voice and of course youth mental health, and then some information about Native American heritage and how we honor that. And I just found just really appreciated being able to spend time with people that are all board members across the state that are volunteering their time and really doing all they can for kids and putting students first. I also was able to, I attended the preschool curriculum review. There was a Zoom review of the curriculum, the new preschool that will be opening up, and I believe they're also going to be sharing this evening, so that'll be exciting. It's a wonderful program, and there's some wonderful people that are going to do great things with our preschoolers. I was also able to take a trauma awareness webinar, and it was really interesting. They talked a lot about just being trauma aware, being trauma skilled, and then being trauma ready, having that operational plan already in place. And it was also really interesting that they talked quite a bit about regulation, how we're really focusing on our kids, helping them self-regulate, and then understanding when they can self-regulate and understanding when they need support for that. And I just found that very interesting. And I appreciated that webinar. And even just today was a busy day. I was able to attend with Chair Bauer and Director Perez, the Beating the Odds luncheon with Stand for Children, where we're really celebrating 8, and I know there's so many more, but in this particular case, 8 high schoolers across the state. And it was just wonderful to hear about all the things, all the obstacles and some of the hurdles that these students have been able to bound over and really be some of our great achievers in the state. And then this afternoon, I was able to go to Billquist. They have their annual spaghetti dinner. It's been going on for years. It's not a fundraiser. It's just a community builder. Most of the staff is there and they do a little skit, and there was retired principals and retired teachers there, and their PTA was there cooking spaghetti and making a great dinner for people. They had 200 people responding that they were going to come already. So I think I'm really hopeful that they had a great turnout. It's actually happening right now. It's just about over. So again, I just love to see our schools building community and doing those things that really bring our families into the fold and bring them into our schools. And as I was leaving, I just helped set up tables and chairs and put tablecloths on and that kind of thing. And on the way out, of course, double duty, they have their lost and found and their coats hanging out on a big rack. And then it said, Billquist Broncos, we are a family. And it just reminded me so much that each one of our schools are really a family. And I'm just so appreciative of our communities around at the schools and our community in the school and how they're rallying around all of our schools in the district. And I just want to recognize just that we have some amazing communities that are truly rallying around our schools and doing all they can to make them better. And with the incredible staff that we have, some of those highlighted tonight at Oak Grove, just some incredible staff that we have that are doing all they can and waking up in the morning and teaching with love and leading with love. And I just am glad to be a part of it. And thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I will just hit on one item that I think was not mentioned, and other board members did attend the community conversations. was so proud of our staff, our administrative staff, in putting that event together. It was well attended, information was shared. I think people understood a little bit better about where to go for information and how to help solve problems together. And we left with areas of interest for future sessions. It was well handled. There were rules of discussion and respect and civil discourse, but you did a great job, and where there's more to come. So that's another way for our community to engage in respectful discussion. So I hope that the community will look for that. Okay, so on the agenda, moving on, preschool promise curriculum. And we have, I welcome Executive Director, Elementary Programs, again, Kalia Williams-Rodriguez, for this agenda item. And I believe you may have someone that is presenting with you.
Absolutely. Good evening again. It is really my honor and excitement to have Jen Burkhart, our early learning coordinator, to share with us the preschool curriculum. And then we also will highlight another guest with us on the screen. Thank you, Jen.
Great, can everyone see okay? Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Esteemed school board, community members, and colleagues. I am thrilled to be once again presenting to you this evening the next step in our early learning journey, the review of preschool instructional materials for your consideration. Sorry, one second. As stated, my name is Jen Burkhart, and I'm the early learning coordinator for the North Clackamas School District. My role is to engage with our early learning partnerships, support and onboard preschool programming, and align our instructional efforts pre-K through second grade. Before launching into the details of our curriculum, I am beyond thrilled to first introduce you to our simply amazing preschool teacher, Vera Ahia. I cannot express to you enough how very fortunate we are to have Mrs. Ahia supporting and influencing our preschool vision in North Clackamas. Vera comes to us most recently from Brooklyn, New York, where she was teaching 4- and 5-year-olds in a developmental kindergarten classroom. She has a wealth of early learning experience, and her child and family-centered and culturally affirming philosophy aligns beautifully with the vision and goals of our North Clackamas Preschool Advisory Team. Not only is Vera a stellar early childhood educator, she's also the author of 3 books, including 2 children's books entitled You Have a Voice, and I have a prop here. I don't know if you can see it, Kinder Garden. Welcome, Vera. Vera, are you able to unmute?
Yes, sorry. Hi, thank you. Hi. It is my pleasure to be here this evening. I apologize for the bad lighting. I'm actually at a conference where I presented this morning, so trying to make the best out of a dark hotel room situation, but it has definitely been my honor. I've been so pleasured to work with the amazing early childhood team here at North Clackamas. I'm beyond excited to meet the little ones scheduled to come November 28th. And yeah, I'm just so thankful to be in a place that values, students first, but also teachers in a way that makes us feel seen and heard. And so thank you.
All right, in today's presentation, we will begin with a brief reintroduction to Preschool Promise, and then an overview of preschool instructional materials that we will be piloting in our program. As a reminder, North Clackamas School District applied for the Preschool Promise Grant in July of 2022 and was awarded this grant in mid-September. Preschool Promise is a publicly funded program serving children 200% below the poverty level and managed by the Oregon Department of Education's Early Learning Division. In our Preschool Promise classroom at Oak Grove Elementary, we will staff 2 paraeducators alongside Mrs. Ahia to support 18 students. As previously stated, our classrooms will be fully inclusive with accommodations for children identified as eligible for special education or related services. We will work with the Clackamas Educational Service District and our very own Early Childhood Special Education team to ensure all accommodations and supplementary supports are fully integrated into all planned experiences. As I transition to providing an overview of our instructional materials, I wanted to point out the intentionally repeated phrase, "in alignment with." Each resource selected is not only approved by ODE's Department of Early Learning and Care and aligned with the Oregon Kindergarten and Early Learning Guidelines, these resources were also selected to ensure alignment with our K-2 instructional approaches, materials, and framework. While adding preschool programming to our K-12 system is the most highly effective intervention effort we can provide, research continually confirms that it is the alignment of preschool and K-2 practices that is the essential element for effectiveness. I will begin with our foundational approach to instructional design, playful inquiry. In alignment with our kindergarten purposeful play practices, playful inquiry approaches to learning supports and responds to our children's linguistic goals and cultural experiences while integrating multiple content areas. Playful inquiry is child-centered education at its best. This approach begins with the children's natural curiosity and interest first, and then integrates developmentally appropriate literacy, number sense, science, social studies, and social and emotional learning standards. So for example, a teacher might notice the students taking interest in possibly an anthill out on the playground. This might lead to students studying ants more closely and asking questions about how they live and work together. A playful inquiry teacher might bring in an ant farm and begin listening to the children's questions as they investigate this phenomenon. Soon the class might be co-constructing a book about their learning, writing stories about the ants' lives, playing ant family, designing ant homes in the block area, comparing the sizes of various kinds of ants, and even discussing the social dynamics of how ants live in a community. We might ask, what can we learn about what we want in our classroom community by studying how ants live and work together? In this process, children bring their natural curiosity, rich home lives, community life, worldviews, and funds of knowledge to the interactions, classroom environment, and lines of inquiry. The variety and open-endedness of materials and experiences allow children to bring their authentic selves to the classroom and make meaningful connections to the learning. Playful inquiry approaches incorporate and integrate the content and resources that I will continue to present. In the specific area of literacy and in alignment with our adopted K-5 framework and instructional materials, the program entitled Pre-K Sounds, Letters, and Words will support our integrated and developmentally appropriate literacy instruction. Just like our K-5 classroom structure, this program includes shared reading, interactive read-alouds, writing, phonics, and word study. If you're following the sciences of reading discussions in media right now, you'll be pleased to know that in alignment with our K-2 literacy framework and supplementary materials, our preschool classrooms will also be utilizing Heggerty's phonological awareness tools to support skills that are early indicators of literacy development. In the area of mathematics, and once again, in alignment with our K-5 mathematical framework, Number Talks by Kathy Richardson brings meaning to math for students and engages them in thinking and discussion around number sense. These discussions might even be connected to our study of ants. Additionally, and in alignment with our K-5 mathematical framework, developing math concepts goes beyond just talking about math by presenting models, problems, and questions necessary to solve learning through the use of hands-on manipulatives. We are grateful to have this opportunity to discuss our preschool instructional resources with the school board this evening. We also recognize the importance of engaging our families in this discussion. North Clackamas utilized Parent Square and the Oak Grove Facebook group to communicate 2 community curriculum review nights events. November 3rd at Oak Grove Elementary from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. We had an event. Also on November 7th, we had an online forum from 10 to 11 a.m. We had a total of 16 participants. And at this point, we have 3 responses on our feedback form. Thus far, the feedback we have received has been overwhelmingly positive. One North Clackamas family member responded, and I quote, "I love the idea of materials because it will help our kids and their development. The materials are engaging for students, culturally affirming, developmentally appropriate for early learners, and supportive of academic expectations according to the Oregon Early Learning Guidelines and Standards. They also are supportive of social and emotional development." It's one of our comments. This response affirms our value of engaging families in our process and decisions as we build this program. As our community becomes more aware of this new program, we hope and we will continue to seek further input. We are planning to have preschool instructional resources on display during fall conferences at Oak Grove, as well as our preschool family engagement event on November 21st. While it is essential that our materials are in alignment with best practices for early childhood, Oregon Early Learning Guidelines, and our community goals and values, our children's engagement, joy, and wonder will be the truest test of all. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. This is so exciting to have that new program, and I can tell that you're excited about it. Board, any comments? Anyone want to have questions or comments?
Yes, Chair Bauer, this is Director Benaloga. I just want to thank Jen. Again, I was able to attend the online curriculum review. It was really wonderful just to hear the excitement and having effective and having really robust preschool programs is such a wonderful way for just to have our kids ready for school and ready for kindergarten. And they have so many great things that they're going to be doing in this preschool room. I'm just super excited for it to start. They've really got some wonderful people and just some great ideas on how they're going to make that happen. And I'm just really excited that we have it and that it's starting so soon, and really looking forward to seeing what the staff and the preschool teacher is able to do with our kids. So thank you so much. I'm really excited to see where this program goes.
Thank you so Vice Chair Benaloga. Do I see any other hands out there? Well, thank you again. I appreciated the links to the curriculum because I couldn't make it there. And it's very relevant to me right now as a grandmother. And we have our oldest going to be starting kindergarten in the district next year. So it gave me some more ideas when I looked at your curriculum, and I've got a lot of work yet to do as a grandma. But thank you so much. It was a great presentation.
Thank you to all.
Okay, policy revisions discussion is next on the agenda, and I welcome Chief of Staff Tiffany Sherman for this agenda item.
Good evening, Chair and Directors. I am back here with another set of policies. I want to be really clear that these are a separate set of policies than those that we were talking about as a first read during the work session. This is a set of policies that has traveled through our standing policy review team and have been moved forward from that team. So tonight I have, just for discussion, these 4 policies for you. I'm not seeking your action. These 4 policies. I will work through them one by one briefly here. The first is around research, GCQB. It's coming forward really just to update legal references and some basic language. It does not have any actual change to practice as a result of the language changes recommended by the Oregon School Boards Association. Next is IK, Academic Achievement. And this one is coming forward because there's been some updates in Division 22. Those are Oregon's, one set of Oregon's regulations that guide public schools. There's been some updates to OAR 581-022-2270. So 2270 had some updates. This makes our policy more in alignment with that particular requirement. Next is JEA, compulsory attendance. And this particular one is related to a Senate bill passed here in the state, Senate Bill 817, that removes there being a Class C violation associated with a student's non-attendance for not attending school. Not something that we used necessarily in recent history here in North Clackamas, but was something allowable until Senate Bill 817. Really won't represent a change in practice necessarily, but definitely making sure that we're up to date on our wording there. And last is policy JGAB, a very, very important policy for us. It's around the use of restraint and seclusion with students, between staff and students. And as recommended by the Oregon School Boards Association, this policy now, the wording specifically prohibits the use of a seclusion cell for a student to be placed in a seclusion cell. It is important to note that we do not have any in North Clackamas and do not use them, but Oregon School Boards Association is quite clear that all districts should specifically call out in their policy that it's not allowable. That is the end of my report on those 4 policies. I am, of course, available for questions.
Any questions?
This is Director Stradel.
Go ahead, Director Stradel.
Thank you, Chair Bauer. I'm sorry for the remote interruption of you speaking. Chief of Staff, Shireman, thank you very much. I do want to say thank you to all the people working on the policy. And I do want to express my gratitude, not just for reading the text that's put before you, but actually I know we look at where these updates, people working in these committees actually have to pay attention to not just what they're reading, but what changes in the ORS or OAR, and what are the exceptions? Because laws come with titles, and people who don't work in law would think, oh, the title is the law. No, the title is just a title. The body of the legal text is the requirement we must follow, not the title of the document. And if the board members, which I know do this, if they don't read the entire law and the exceptions for it, and actually in those meetings that happen frequently with board members and staff, go through and understand what does it mean, how does it all interconnect. This is a substantial amount of time that goes into policies. It's not just what you see coming before us. There is hundreds of hours of staff time, hundreds of hours of board members' time. And I can say thank you for tolerating me, because I have lots of questions. And I read policies from how does it affect the student, how does it affect the parent, how does it affect the school district. It's imperative that we have to look at all aspects. It helps us to make it so that the community understands the process, the law, so that they can better navigate the system and get a better result in a quicker amount of time. So that's a long way for me to say thank you to everybody who does the time to protect our students, follow the law, and get the work done of the community.
Thank you, Director Schradel. And I do so appreciate the people on that committee, as you said, and your passion for policy. It is what we need to follow and govern. I would like to welcome Director McVeigh, who just joined us. He had a work meeting tonight, so glad you were able to join us. So thank you, Chief of Staff Sharman. I don't see any other question.
These will come back then in December at the December board meeting as an action item.
Great, thank you so much. After policy, agenda item 6, Oregon School Board election. As a member of Oregon State School Board Association, the North Clackamas School Board of Education is eligible to participate in the election of officers to the OSBA Board and Legislative Policy Committee, and to vote on resolutions that amend the OSBA Constitution or adopt legislative priorities. The board will consider ballot items separately and may decline to vote on any of them. After the board has taken action on the candidates, the board secretary will submit the vote by the OSBA online ballot. And this is just discussion today, but at the next board meeting, we will vote. We vote on 3 items, position 7, which is vacant. And if anyone would like to write their name in and volunteer, it is open. Position 8 is Chrissy Wrights. She's from Hood River County. And then there's a resolution to adopt OSBA legislative priorities and principles. And again, this will come back at the December 8th board meeting. Every time we have a legislative session, there's a lot of more work that comes up. And then, as Director Schradel said, we have laws that are passed, and then that has to be made into policy. So there's all connected. But as far as this item, any feedback on the legislative priorities and purpose, which is real important, or on this election? North Clackamas School District will also have its legislative plan, but it's very usually in alignment with the OSBA. Right at the top is stable funding. There's just some important aspects of this that I encourage you to look at that and think about it. And for our public, promote adequate, stable, and predictable funding, protect the Student Success Act. All of these are so important. Close opportunity gap, ensure access to post-secondary credits, address education workforce shortages. That's just a few of the priorities. So any discussion? Seeing none, let's move on then to the next item is the quarterly financials. Sorry. I would welcome Executive Director of Finance and Business Services, Matt Macara, to report.
Good evening. Hello. I would like to share some highlights from the financial report for the quarter ending September 30th, 2022. The first quarter actuals are on track to project an ending fund balance of $31.5 million. The revenues received to date in the general fund are primarily the state school fund, which is in line with expectations, some investment income and fees, our beginning fund balance, as well as a one-time recovery of expenses from the prior fiscal year. Expenditures are also currently in line with expectations, though we will know more when we have a few more months of actual salaries, benefits, and other expenses. As part of the financial report, you also have an investment report showing the type of investment, maturity date, and fund for which the investment is held. Our cash flow is sufficient to cover our expenditures, and we will see an increase in investments as we receive our tax turnovers. Early estimates from the county are close to our budgeted taxes, including our local option levy. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there were any.
I open the floor for any questions. I don't see any hands, or just speak up. Well, thank you, Matt. We'll be watching this too as we hear more about the economic situation and the new biennium coming up. Thank you for your update.
Definitely. Thank you.
Budget committee appointments. I will turn this agenda item over to Vice Chair Benaloga, who has stepped up to lead the search committee and the process, and I appreciate that. I'll let you bring everyone up to date.
All right, thank you, Chair Bauer. I did want to mention that I will, I think, have to do a roll call vote once we have nominations, because I can't, being on my phone, I'm not able to see very much. So I do apologize for that. So we just wanted to remind everyone that we declared budget committee positions 8, 9, and 12 vacant. The new appointments will serve 3-year terms expiring June 30th, 2025. So the district announced openings to the public through many different venues. We received 7 complete applications with videos, and then board members on their own individual time was able to go through all of the applications and then either listen to the video or listen to the audio where they answered additional questions. And then November 3rd, the board conducted personal interviews of 5 applicants. So we have also met with the 5 in person. So now we will work on nominations for position number 8. So do I have a nomination for the position 8 of North Clackamas School District Budget Committee?
This is Director McVeigh. I nominate April Dobson.
Thank you. Director McVeigh nominates April Dobson for position 8 for North Clackamas School District Budget Committee. Do I have another nomination?
This is Director Way. I nominate Angeline Hill.
I think we're okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I follow the instructions or?
Are you wanting to nominate her for the same position or for the next position?
Oh, I'm sorry. For the next position.
Okay. All right. So right now we're just doing position number 8. So thank you. Thank you, Director Way. All right.
Thank you.
Do we have another nomination for position number 8? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Seeing none, we have nominated April Dobson for position number 8 on the North Clackamas School District Budget Committee. So we will now vote on appointing April Dobson to position 8 on the Budget Committee. Director Ford, how do you vote?
I vote yes for April Dobson.
Thank you. Director McVeigh?
Yes.
Director Perez?
Yes for April Dobson.
Director Schradel?
I vote yes, but I also think if there's only one person for nomination, it should be an affirmation.
Oh, is it? Okay, we wanted to make sure. Director Way?
Yes.
Director Bauer?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So the board unanimously has appointed April Dobson to position 8 in the North Clackamas School District. For the North Clackamas School District Budget Committee, excuse me. Do I have a nomination? Congratulations, April, and thank you again for applying to be on our Budget Committee. Do I have a nomination for the position 9 of the North Clackamas School District Budget Committee?
This is Director McVeigh. I nominate Angelina Hill.
Thank you. So Director McVeigh has nominated Angeline Hill for position 9. on the Budget Committee. Are there other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there other nominations? Hearing none, we will now vote on appointing Angeline Hill to position 9 on the North Clackamas School District Budget Committee. Director Ford, how do you vote?
I vote yes for Angeline Hill.
Director McVeigh?
Yes, for Angeline Hill.
Director Perez?
Yes, for Angeline Hill.
Thank you. Director Schradel?
Yes, for Andrea Hill.
Excellent. Director Way?
I vote yes.
Excellent. Director Bauer?
I vote yes.
And Director Benaloga, I am a yes as well. So we have appointed Angeline Hill to position 9 on the School District Budget Committee. Thank you. And so do I have a nomination for our third and final position, position 12 on the Budget Committee?
I'd like to make a nomination for position 12, Nicole Woodfill.
Excellent. Nicole Woodfill, thank you. Director Perez. Are there other nominations for position?
This is Director McVeigh. I nominate Maureen Hinman.
All right, thank you, Director McVeigh. Thank you. Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All right, thank you. So we have Nicole Woodfill and Maureen Hinman both nominated for position 12 for the opening on our Budget Committee. I believe we vote for each person individually, correct? Yep. All right. So we will vote for Nicole Woodfill, which is our first nominee. Director Ford?
Yes for Nicole Woodfill.
Excellent. Director McVeigh?
Well, they were also good. But I did nominate someone else, so I'll say no.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Director Perez?
Yes, for Nicole Woodfill.
Okay. Excellent. Director Schradel?
Yes, to Nicole.
Thank you. Director Way?
Yes, for Nicole Woodfill.
Okay. Thank you. Director Bauer?
I will say no at this time. Yeah, no.
All right. Thank you. And I would also be a no at this time. So now we will vote for Maureen Hinman for position 12. Director Ford?
No at this time.
Okay. Director McVeigh?
Yes.
Thank you. Director Perez?
Well, I said yes to Nicole Woodfill, so no.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Director Schradel?
What's the current tally of both candidates, or just the?
So Nicole Woodfill has 4 yeses.
Okay, so just a point of order, I guess. It doesn't 4 votes affirm that they have been selected?
But we have 2 nominees for the same position. So
But if you have 2 nominees who get greater than 4, then you have 2 yeses. So
right.
Yeah, I believe.
So then we go to positive comments.
Okay, thank you. I vote no.
Okay. Director Way?
I vote no.
Okay, thank you. Director Bauer?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. So by a majority vote, we have selected Nicole Woodfill for position number 12 on the North Clackamas School District Budget Committee. And this concludes our 3 openings on the Budget Committee. Chair Bauer?
Thank you, Vice Chair Benaloga. And I do want to thank all of the people that applied for these positions. And also I look forward to working with the 3 that we just appointed. But these vacancies come up quite often. So, you know, try again. There were some really good candidates. So we appreciate you stepping up to this district responsibility. Bulk phone purchase is next, item number 9. And I welcome Assistant Superintendent of Operations, Cindy Detchen, for this agenda item.
Thank you, Chair Bauer. I'm actually going to hand it right over to our Executive Director of Technology and Information Systems, Joe Bridgman.
Well, good evening. Thank you all very much for allowing me to present this evening. Tonight, I'm here before you for an action item. I'm asking the board to approve the purchase of Cisco phones from CVE Technologies for a total not to exceed an amount of $213,923. The source of the funds are from the Assistant Superintendent of Operations budget, as well as the Technology and Information Services budget. We are looking to replace the bulk of the district phones, which are about 10 to 12 years old and now nearing obsolete status in terms of our ability as a district to continue upgrading our software infrastructure. We're looking at approximately 1,900 phones that we would transition into the district over the next several months to year, depending on the supply chain and how quickly we can get them in stock and the amount of configuration that would be required. We're excited about these phones. We think they're going to be more user-friendly for our staff. They may offer some additional security features in the future. And one of the things that I know that many of our teachers are looking forward to is that these phones will have a speakerphone option, which will make many of the conversations, especially around parent-teacher conferences and things like that, more convenient for their locations. So that's our proposal tonight, and we're hoping to take action on that purchase.
Any questions before I open the floor for a motion? Okay, I'll open the floor for a motion.
Yeah, sorry, I had my hand up, but I didn't.
Oh, Director Schradel, I'm sorry, I got to open my.
So nice to meet you. Are the Cisco phones we currently using the SIP protocol or a Cisco proprietary protocol?
So internally, we use a SIP protocol, and that gets transitioned out to a PRI line to get to the telephone networking switch.
And we're using the Cisco call center from the ESD, is that correct?
Yes, the UCM is based at Clackamas ESD. Yeah.
Now, I should give you advance notice that the CCDA and CCNA and CC Security and CCENT. So I know Cisco inside.
Yes.
So if you have 7940s, 7960s, which I think we do, you have speakerphone and all. And so what features, because ambiguity of security features in the future, they come from IETF. They don't come from call routing things. So what is the why? And the second question is, why isn't E-rate funding being used?
Yeah, so at the moment, E-rate does not allow for telephone purchases. It only gives us to.
I just want to make sure I share that. I'd like to see that in writing from the Cisco people, because we can buy routers, switches, we can buy phones.
Yeah, I can get that to you, certainly. In terms of the why behind the telephone purchase, really it's about the bulk of the telephones in the district are about 10 to 12 years old. And we've gotten to a point where the UCM or that call manager that we talked about earlier, we're not able to continue upgrading that system software because the older phones are no longer compatible with those. And so we're looking forward to being able to install and configure a more stable system that works out some of the bugs that have been kind of squashed in the newer systems. And as well, these new phones will have a display feature and also a second hard button that many of our classroom phones don't currently have. And we think those are going to make it a lot easier for and more convenient for our users.
I appreciate it. I'm always going to ask questions on technology, so please understand that that's just inherently who I am. The second thing is, Cisco offering a trade-in of the old 7940s, 7960s, or what is the plan for properly disposing of plastic and precious metals inside that equipment?
Yeah, we're hoping to look into a secondary market and see if there may be other districts or other opportunities to sell those phones. And if not, then there would be a recycling or some type of buyback program.
Just want to make sure I will be paying attention if 1900 phones go out and if it exceeds the authority to dispose of without it showing up back into the accounts receivable from what it's being spent from. If technology is going to recoup it, technology keeps the funds for technology. It doesn't go back to general funds. Thank you.
I understand. Thank you.
Any other question?
I'm surprised they even can charge after 10 years. Mine doesn't after 3.
Okay, I open the floor for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the phone purchase.
Is there a-
Oh, you can have it.
Who made the second?
Point of order, point of order. This is a dollar amount. I'd like to say that we need to state the dollar amount in the motion.
Okay, thank you, Director Ford. Would you repeat your motion, Director McVeigh? You're on mute.
I'll need to get to the part of the board book. I
Okay.
just finished my last meeting, so.
Oh,
239.
page 239. Is that what you're saying, Director Ford?
Yep, 239.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. I make a motion to approve purchase of Cisco phones from CDE Technology for a total not to exceed the amount of $213,923.00.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, Director Ford.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just a question, is that part of a new rules that we state the amount when there's a dollar amount, or is that just a preference of some of the board members?
It's actually Robert's Rules of Order, but I mean, we've always done it that way.
Well, we haven't always done it, but we can certainly always do
Well,
it.
when I was chair for the last 2 years, we did.
Yeah, you can blame it on me. I'll try to remind you. Thank you.
I do have a question, just as far as Director Shadle, a question I have is, I wasn't at the last board meeting, so did this come before us as a discussion item, or is this coming straight to action?
I believe it.
I can answer that, Chair Bauer.
Thank you.
This is coming to you straight as action. Most of our purchases do when it's for a contract of services. All of the bond purchases, for example, came as action. When there is a lot more information that you might need, certainly real estate purchases, those type of things, we always bring it twice. But there are several action items that we bring forward in the course of a year when there's a straight purchasing contract that we only bring once.
Okay, well, I think this should always be discussion so that board members have time to digest and understand what they're voting on that has 6 digits in it. And I do agree that technology just before Christmas always has come in at a last admitted item must be spent before the end of the calendar year, or they lose opportunities. And we also have those same things for fiscal year. If technology or people bringing this forward can't plan to bring it forward for discussion and then action, that kind of sends a little red flag for me that we're not doing our due diligence. We're coming forward and just asking for a motion to be passed.
Thank you for that input. We certainly will consider whatever the board wishes us to do. I will say I will fully take ownership of this one. And it's not about lack of planning. It's just past practice in terms of purchasing contracts. I looked up several past purchases and this is how we had done it. If we need to do it differently in the future, I certainly will take your direction at that, Chair Ford and board, or Chair Bauer and Ford.
Well, and I hear you saying, so we're 7 board members, and so I will be voting no, so I have time to think about this for the next board.
Yeah, there is a motion on the floor. There's a second. Any other discussion? Call for a vote on the motion. Director Ford.
Aye.
Director McVeigh.
Aye.
Director Perez.
Aye.
Director Stradel.
No.
Director Way.
Aye.
Director Benaloga.
Aye.
Myself, and I. So the motion passes with a vote of 6-1. I know if, we have pre-board meetings with our superintendent plan too, so that's always a good time to ask questions. Agenda item 10. I think this is our last one. Is that right? I lost my agenda. Special Education Evaluation Contract Award. This is another action item. I welcome Executive Director of Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development, Tammy O'Neill, for this agenda item. Is Tammy here?
I am. I apologize. I had to unmute.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Go ahead, Tammy. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Let me get my statement here going on. Good evening, board members. I am bringing forward a contract that would allow our special education team to partner in the completion of online psychoeducational, speech, and occupational therapy evaluations for our students. These evaluations help us determine which students qualify for special education services. I seek your approval of a contract to Presence Learning not to exceed $300,000. I, as well as my colleagues, Yvette Lightbourne and Yvonne Dibley, are available should you have questions.
Director McVeigh, move approval of superintendent's recommendation to award contract to Presence Learning for special education evaluation services not to exceed $300,000.
Is there a second?
Wait, second.
Okay, any discussion? Call for a vote on the motion. Director Ford.
Aye.
Director McVeigh.
Aye.
Director Perez.
Aye.
Director Schradel.
Abstain.
Abstained. Director Way.
Aye.
Vice Chair Benaloga.
Aye.
And myself is aye. The motion passes with a vote of 6 with 1 abstain, if I heard that right. Thank you for your time this evening, and I want to thank our community, staff, and students for being online or joining us. I always know that I learn things at these meetings, and I hope they did too. We do this because we care. I believe in public education, and when we all work together for our kids' community, we're at our best. And so I thank all of you for being here. All 7 board members, I appreciate you. It is now, unless there's any further from anyone, I will adjourn the meeting now at 8:42 and have a great evening.
Good night.